How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is currently running its Mega March sale. A lot of good deals available, and we're gonna highlight some of the best deals under the price of $10. So let's just get right into it. Links to all of these deals, as always, in the description box below. Now, before we get into this video, I just want to ask you guys, please like this video and do leave a comment with your thoughts. It really does help out the channel a lot, and it is much appreciated. First of all, we have the Bayonetta and Vanquish 10th Anniversary Bundle for $9.99, so essentially $5 a pop for Bayonetta and Vanquish. That is a damn good deal. Bayonetta is a game that I feel like the majority of you guys have played. It's a great fast-paced action title. Vanquish is the one that was the sleeper back in October of 2010. And I remember the big issue when the game initially came out was the price point. Like $60 for a game that you could legit complete in 5 hours. Didn't have a crazy amount of replay value, but a game that I really enjoyed. Now that you're getting it for essentially $5 alongside Bayonetta, that's a great deal. Now, Vanquish isn't anything to write home about narratively. It's honestly kind of nonsensical in that regard, but the gameplay is just so over the top. It's Platinum Games gameplay raised up to 11, so it's just really well done. Had a great time with it. Both titles for $10, obviously a good deal there. Next up, we have XCOM 2 The Collection, $9.99 on that. Now, this is a really good deal. I know the base XCOM 2 game is on PlayStation Plus Extra, and it generally goes on sale for like $5, but XCOM 2 The Collection includes a bunch of DLC, and most notably the expansion, War of the Chosen. That'll really extend your experience quite a lot, and here, you're getting the collection for $9.99, and it's a really well-done tactics space game. Now, bear in mind that on PlayStation 4, it does have some technical shortcomings, so that's a bummer. It's not like it has a full PS5 upgrade or anything like that as well, but a very rewarding game, can get pretty challenging, and just a really enjoyable game. I'm not very big into tactics games either, but I had a good time with it, so $9.99 on that. Great deal there. Next up, God of War III Remastered, 50% off for $9.99. Now, I am relatively vocal about my opinion about God of War 3. Just God of War pre-God of War 2018. I thought they were fine action games, but I didn't think it was this revolutionary pillar franchise for PlayStation that it was. And you know what? Guess what? I am objectively incorrect about that statement. That's my subjective opinion, but if you look at the general reception for God of War pre-2018, the sales numbers, so on and so forth, it was a legit pillar franchise for PlayStation. It just didn't resonate with me as much. I thought they were fine action games, and I thought they were okay. Given the fact that, objectively, these games are very well received. If you got into God of War with 2018 and God of War Ragnarok, well then circle back and play God of War 3. And again, I like these games, I just didn't think they were these 9 or 10 out of 10 titles. I played all of the titles, God of War 1 through 3, Chains of Olympus, Ghosts of Sparta, enjoyed all of them, just didn't think they were completely blow away, but $10 for this, pretty good deal. Next up, we have Resident Evil 2, the remake, 75% off for $9.99. Really kicked off the Capcom train of Resident Evil remakes, and they have just been phenomenally well done, and Resident Evil 2, really well done as well. For $9.99, this is a great price. Imagine most of you guys have picked it up by now, but if you haven't, great price there. Speaking of Capcom, gotta give a shout out to Monster Hunter World as well, 50% off for $9.99, a tremendous deal on that as well. Monster Hunter World is just a game you can sink a ton of time into. Yes, it could be a little bit of a grind, but that's kind of the appeal of Monster Hunter World. To be a little cliche, you embrace the grind with Monster Hunter, and it's a good time all around. $9.99 is great. Given that Wilds isn't going to come out until 2025, you know, waiting for that to get into Monster Hunter seems a little bit crazy, but for that price point, it's quite good. For World, I know it doesn't include Iceborne, but, you know, just check out World for now if you've never played Monster Hunter. Next up, Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, $5.09. I know that we're, 2 weeks and change away from Dragon's Dogma 2, but hey, if you want to get in some Dogma 1, $5.09 is a great price. You get the expansion here as well. Obviously, the game shows its age. It came out north of a decade ago, so do keep that in mind, but overall, still a pretty good price for a damn good action RPG. Would certainly recommend it. Next up, we have Little Nightmares 2, 67% off for $9.89. Great price for Little Nightmares 2, a game and a franchise that I really talk up. Incredible atmosphere, solid gameplay, and the world is just super trippy, and it gets that element of a horror game really right. I would recommend you to play both games. You can get the Little Nightmares 1 and 2 bundle for $15, and I think that is a really solid deal, all things considered. 70% off there, so definitely would recommend that, but yeah, you got a bunch of DLC with that as well, so definitely recommend that. Little Nightmares 3 is going to be dropping here later this year, so that's something to be on the lookout for as well. Next up, we got Watch Dogs 2 Deluxe Edition, 85% off for $8.99. Now, Watch Dogs is a franchise, never really resonated at the level I think Ubisoft was hoping for. If you guys go back to when Watch Dogs was revealed, I want to say it was 2012 or 2013, that game was set up to be absolutely enormous, and the hype for the initial Watch Dogs was so crazy. A lot of people don't remember how crazy the hype was for Watch Dogs 1. Unfortunately, that game had some shortcomings, didn't deliver from a critical standpoint and a, reception standpoint. Watch Dogs 2 kind of felt the brunt of it, even though I think Watch Dogs 2 improved upon Watch Dogs 1 from a gameplay standpoint quite a lot. I think narratively, it's not like blowaway or anything like that, but $8.99 for it. If you haven't played it, I would say give it a shot, and you might end up being pretty surprised at how much you enjoy it. Watch Dogs is super inconsistent these days. I mean, Legion was the last game we got, and that game was okay, but yeah, I would say go check out Watch Dogs 2, $9 on that. Next up, Borderlands Game of the Year Edition, $9.89 on this. It's an upgraded release of Borderlands 1. I actually started another playthrough of this relatively recently. I mean, Borderlands is one of those games that for me is super easy to go back to and play it. It's just a gameplay loop that works for me. I wasn't crazy about Borderlands 3, but Borderlands 1 and 2 really my jam. Thought the comedy, works well in Borderlands 1, and for a game that came out back in 2009, guys, yes, 15 years since Borderlands 1 came out, I feel like it still holds up fairly well. It shows its age here and there, but for a 15-year-old game, I still think it's pretty damn good. So for that price point, definitely go check it out. Next up, I want to give a shout to a couple of Devil May Cry games. We have the Devil May Cry HD Collection, which is 67% off for $9.89. Now, these are PS2 era action titles. You get DMC 1, 2, and 3. Solid action games, and for the time, DMC 1 and 3 were revolutionary, but definitely for a modern audience, 20-year-old games are gonna show their age. They're still fun games to go through, but, again, they're a little bit dated. DMC 2 is the one that people really, did not enjoy. I didn't think it was as bad as everybody makes it out to be, but it was, wild. The quality difference between DMC 1 and 2, I definitely understand that, but, $9.89 for all three games, I think is a pretty good buy. And then we have DMC Devil May Cry. Now, this was a game that's really not in the Devil May Cry universe or anything like that. It was done by Ninja Theory. Go into it expecting a good action game, and you will probably be pretty happy with it, because DMC Devil May Cry is a solid, well-done action game. I think a lot of people were upset mainly by the redesign of Dante, and guys, I'm on board with you, but just go into it expecting, just call it DMC and don't even think about Devil May Cry, and you'll enjoy the game. So I would say still check it out. Next up, we got Infamous Second Son, 50% off for $9.99. Infamous is one of my favorite PlayStation franchises legitimately ever. A lot of that has to do with timing. I grew up playing Infamous 1 and 2, 2009, 2011. Those games were my jam. I didn't like Second Son as much as Infamous 1. Maybe it's as good as Infamous 2. I think most people would still put 2 over Second Son. 2 had some wacky narrative decisions, but now that I look back on it. But Second Son is a great game. I don't think Delsin is as compelling of a main character as Cole. He's still a likable character. The visuals are great. Still holds up. A decade. How crazy is it that it's been a decade since this game has come out? That's wild to think about, but visuals still hold up. Performance is good. $9.99, good price on that for sure. Speaking of, DMC being dated, Chrono Cross: The Radical Dreamers Edition, 50% off for $9.99. Chrono Cross is a classic JRPG that, again, does show its age. They do what they can with the Radical Dreamers Edition, but it's a classic JRPG that you should play. Good story, gameplay solid. If you're into JRPGs, a pretty good one. Drop FF7 for a second and go play Chrono Cross. Yeah, you're probably not going to do that, but I'd still give it a shout. Next up, Weird West Definitive Edition, 75% off for $9.99. This was a PS Plus title not too long ago, but if you missed out on it, it is what it is. I would say for $10, this is a great pickup. Really had a good time with Weird West. It does a lot of things right in being a narrative-driven, decision-based RPG, and a lot of games these days have decision-making involved within the game. What Weird West gets right, and other games get this right too, but Weird West really showcases the fact that its decision-making actually has ramifications and consequences throughout your playthrough. Sometimes we get decision-making in games that it just feels like it's shoehorned into it without any real repercussions. I'm looking at you, Horizon, but Weird West, it has real ramifications to the story. The gameplay is pretty enjoyable, and again, the story's pretty interesting. Lengthy game as well, replayable. $9.99 is a solid price on that. And lastly, we do have Vampyr, 80% off for $7.99. Great price on Vampyr. It's a game that I really enjoyed from Don't Nod Entertainment, the same people that brought you Life is Strange. And definitely you can get the fact that they're good at narratives and storytelling, because from a gameplay standpoint, Vampyr certainly has its shortcomings. It's fine. It's just super mediocre in that area. But narratively and voice acting wise, the game is really well done. Atmosphere is great. And for this price point, $7.99, I do think it's a good pickup. But that is going to do it for me. Again, the Mega March sale has a lot of great deals under the price of $10. Links to everything, as always, will be in the description box down below. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.